Welcome to One-on-One, the Daily Items weekly digital program featuring Susquehanna Valley newsmakers interviewed by Daily Item reporters. Today's guest is Shikellamy High School Junior ROTC instructor Lieutenant Colonel Joe Walsh, interviewed by reporter Rick Dandes.
Wishing you could go back to your teens is a nice thought. Wishing you could buy a brand new 2018 car priced in the teens is unheard of. Not at Sunbury Motors Kia. It's 20 under 20. 20 vehicles for under 20 grand. Sunbury Motors Kia has 20 new 2018 Kia Rios, Optimas, Souls, and Fortes for under $20,000. Sunbury Motors Kia makes it easy to own a brand new 2018 Kia. 20 under 20. Don't get badgered by other dealers. Sunbury Motors Kia can get you into a 2018 Kia for under 20 grand. You can go back to your teens. Plus, all have Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. And SMC has over 25 certified pre-owned Kias to choose from, too. Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15 Hummel's Wharf, and at sunburymotorskia.com.
Offer expires 5/31/18. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see retailer or go to kia.com.
Welcome to One-on-One, the Daily Items weekly digital program. Our guest today is Lieutenant Colonel Joe Walsh, Shikellamy High School's Junior ROTC. Joe, welcome.
Hey, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Joe, Memorial Day is coming up next weekend, and why don't we begin by having you talk a little about yourself and.
I'm a veteran of 22 years in the military. Never thought I was going to do that. I thought I was going to do 4 years, get some money for college, and then get out and check the block. But I stayed in for 22 years. I enjoyed it. My background's in education. I'm an elementary school teacher. That's my degree. But I never worked in that field. I wanted to go back into teaching after I retired from the military, but I wanted to do it in the college level and teach the young lieutenants what not to do.
Yeah.
Because
Are you from around here originally?
I'm actually from Dallas, Pennsylvania, so not too far away. About 2 hours, hour and a half the other direction.
So after you got out of the service, you came back kind of.
I came back home. It was my wife and I, partner. We went everywhere she wanted to go. That was and then at the retirement, I got the choice, and I said, well, I got my commission through ROTC at Edinburgh University in Pennsylvania. I got my education from Pennsylvania, and my family's from Pennsylvania. So I decided to come back to the state that set me on my way. So I had the unique opportunity to teach here in Pennsylvania. I wanted to be an ROTC instructor, teach lieutenants, like I said earlier. That wasn't going to be the case. And then somebody said, try JROTC. And I was like, what's that? And the whole mission of JROTC is motivate young kids to become better than what they think they can be. So to be back in the classroom and be able to do that, that's what I pursued.
So your first classroom job was at Schick, or was it another?
No, it was at Shikellamy. My student teaching, I should back up, my student teaching in elementary school was, I think it was 2 weeks, maybe a month. So I only got my feet wet. I wanted to do that because the young kids are like sponges. But to come back into the high school and do that as well, it was a challenge at first, but I enjoy it.
Well, we'll get back to talking about your work with Shikellamy. Let me just ask you, what, as a military guy, and I'm a vet as well, what does Memorial Day mean to you?
Well, to me personally, you can watch. I watch the YouTube videos, and for me, Memorial Day is a way to really reflect on those that paid the ultimate sacrifice, the men and women that served in our country. And I don't just look at it as those that died, on the beaches of Normandy or didn't make it back in Afghanistan or Iraq. And I have friends, Vietnam, Korea, all the wars. But it's also those that have come back and made it successfully, whether they were wounded physically or psychologically. Those scars that don't heal, that stay with you for a lifetime, and then they perish as well. Sometimes we forget about those, and for me, I don't. If they fought in our wars and they served our country to protect the freedoms that we have today, that's what it means to me, and I try to teach that to the kids in the program.
Well, before the tape started rolling, we were talking a little bit about the difference between Veterans Day and Memorial Day And maybe some people don't really understand the difference. So we
No.
can just go with that.
Well, JROTC, we're always involved in parades. It doesn't matter what it is. If somebody wants us to carry the colors, the national and state colors, we'll do that. That's part of our service to our community. But when we come down to Veterans Day and Memorial Day, sometimes a lot of people get it mixed up and they think it's just another day to thank our veterans. And I tell them, I try to teach them Veterans Day is really a chance for us to recognize those that are still living with us, even though some of our veterans have perished. And then Memorial Day is really to pay homage to those that actually paid the ultimate sacrifice and are no longer with us, and again, protected the freedoms that we have today. Because they get it mixed up, I think, because when Memorial Day and we have the parades, you have veterans that are marching in the parade.
Yeah.
So they think it's another Veterans Day.
Yeah.
And it's really not. But that's why we're teachers.
Well, it's all honoring people who give back for the country.
That's
you know,
correct.
So, and so and now we'll kind of transition back to your work at Shikellamy. But again, the misperceptions that people might have about the ROTC program, the JROTC program. Tell me what an ROTC program is in general. Like, if you could describe exactly what it is.
Well, in simple terms, it's a citizenship course. It teaches them we have and values. In the Army, we have Army values, but I always tell the kids, take the Army away and just look at the values. So we look at loyalty to your family, your country, your school, loyal to your peers and your friends, duty. And duty, I tell the kids, I said, your duty right now is to get an education and prepare yourself for life after high school, which is part of my mission. Respect. We always tell, our generation, I'd say, talks about family. My family stayed together, even though I would say, not going into detail, they probably should have stayed together, but they did because that's what we did.
Yeah.
But the kids that I'm teaching today come from broken homes. They're being raised by stepdads or stepmoms, or no parents at all. They're raised by their grandparents. So I always try to tell the kids, I said, one of the values of respect is you've got to be able to respect yourself first before you can respect anybody else. And then, be able to come into the school and be able to respect the opportunity to get that education, be able to respect the teachers that are amongst you, your fellow peers and everything. And that's the LDR, the leader part of it. And the SHIP is the selfless service, doing what you're supposed to be doing just because it's the right thing to do. Whether it be opening the door for somebody or saying thank you or please, without getting a pat on the back and a thank you back. That's the selfless service that I try to teach. Yeah. And it goes to honoring your family, honoring your school, honoring your flag, having the integrity. That's a hard one. I balance between integrity and respect probably is the two big things I teach. In the beginning, I thought it was integrity. And what I mean by that is when I'm not in the room, are you pulling out your cell phone? Are you cheating on a test? Are you, after school, I always say, if I'm not around or if somebody's not watching, are you doing the right thing? And I always thought that was the key one. But lately, I think it's the respect piece. Before I can have the integrity, I've got to have respect for myself. Be able to say, no, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to cheat. No, I'm not going to smoke pot. No, I'm not going to do X, Y, and Z. And the last one is the personal courage. Being able to stand up and say that was me, it was my fault, at the face of being put down by your peers, and that ties in doing the right thing overall. So it's
going to be hard for some kids to
learn
those things.
Well, it's the peer pressure. I had a student the other day. He got in trouble. We were in the office, and I was trying to explain it to the principal, and then I turned around and he was caught dead to rights, and I go, well, then why did you do what you did? And he goes, I had to save face with my friends.
Yeah, wow.
And I was like going, so for me to be able to do this, I love it. I'm an educator. It's a challenge. I tell people the battles I fight in the classroom are sometimes worse than the battles I fought in combat. Wow. And that's reality.
Well, in a way, you're a stabilizing figure to some of these kids.
In every teacher, I don't care in the school, and I've 10 years teaching there at the high school now. Every teacher, regardless of whether it's a math teacher, I'm trying to keep this generic so we don't identify who they are,
right.
Whether it be a JROTC instructor,
yeah.
Whether it be a biology teacher, whether it be a health instructor, PE teacher, every one of those has somebody that comes to them because they offer something to them other than academics, and it's a positive role model in their life. So if I can be that for one student, if I can be that for 5 students, then why not? It's very rewarding. And then, just like any of the other teachers that come graduation 4 years later, and we witness them going across the stage and witness that they have a plan for their life and witness that they're successful in life and they come back, that's why we teach. That's why we do what we do. I just happen to be able to do it in uniform.
A couple of things about the program itself. Is it an after-school program? Is it like a class that people?
It's a.
Can freshmen join? Is it just?
My wife would say I don't have a life. It's a year-round course, and the students can be as involved in the program as they want to, or just take it as the curriculum. There is a curriculum that goes with it. It's broken down for first year, second year, third year, and fourth year students, so they could just take that course. They don't have to participate in any extracurricular activities. The parades that we do are usually on a Saturday. So, if they're working and they can't do it, then we always have enough students that will fill those gaps. Nothing is mandatory minus the beginning of the year parades.
Okay.
And it's just so what we're trying to teach them is the parade isn't for them. The parade is for the parents and the community so that they can see you and how you've matured. And a lot of kids never wore a suit before. So to get them in a suit, all the parents, everybody sees them, you look sharp.
Yeah.
But that respect I tell you about, they don't see that.
Yeah.
They look like I'm uncomfortable. This isn't me, and they're not used to it. So I like to put them in an uncomfortable situation where I know they're going to succeed, and that's part of our goal as well. Not fail, but succeed. And a lot of times it's because they've never done that before.
Yeah.
So.
Especially in this area that's middle class, lower middle class.
Oh yeah, and we've got great extracurricular activities like the school does too. We have football, soccer, baseball, and those are all great, and kids have a fancy for that. The JROTC's got a marksmanship program. It's got a drill team that competes against 8 initial schools and then 16 in the big competition that we do.
Oh, I didn't know that.
We have a color guard event where, like I said, we do color guard events where we actually post the U.S. state colors either at the football game. We've done it at the wrestling matches. We've been called to do it at the Republican Gala, which was held this past spring.
Mm-hmm.
So there's many opportunities. We've done it at the Little League World Series. So for the kids to get out there in the community and to really provide a service is something. And our veterans always see our kids in uniform and think, thank you for your service. Yeah. And they always thought, well, thank you. And they always ask the colonel, they go, sir, first sergeant, how do we react to that? I said, just let them know you're not in the service. You're just in a leadership course and thank them.
Yeah.
So.
I guess the other thing I wanted to address was another misperception and something we've talked about. People might think that an ROTC program leads to a career in the military, but that's not necessarily. Just listening to you now, it sounds like it's about much more than a path directly to although it can lead to the military.
Oh, it can. And I don't color code that at all. The fact is, a lot of people see Army guys teaching the course, and they have family that served in the military and stuff, and they have aspirations to go into the Navy. I joke around. I tell the recruiters, so if they see this, I tell them they're a whole bunch of used car salesmen. And they're like, what do you say that for? And I go, well, if they come talk to you and they want to serve and they were in JROTC, you want to keep them in your department. And you don't want them to go next door to the Ford dealer, i.e. the Navy or the Marine Corps. Yeah. You want them to stay in and go in your service. That is not our goal. Again, our goal is to motivate them and prepare them for life after high school. If they want to choose the military, I will try to point them in the best direction possible because some of them aren't going to be in the Marine Corps. They're just not cut for it. They might go into the Air Force, like yourself, or they might go in the Army. But others, this year alone, I have a battalion commander and my XO, the top 2 in my class. They're both pursuing college degrees. They've both been accepted. To me, that's success. That's what I want them to do. So by no means, we do not recruit for the military at all. We try to focus them in the field that they want to go into, and we try to guide them. Like I said, the curriculum set up that as freshmen we establish goals, and it might be to get A's and B's or pass. But by the time they're a junior and a senior, the goals shift from those grades to what they want to do after high school. And as instructors, we try to provide information, guide them, and make sure they're going through the right steps to prepare for that, whether it be college, a technical school, a job.
Okay. We'll be right back in a minute with Lieutenant Colonel Joe Walsh of Shikellamy High School.
Wishing you could go back to your teens is a nice thought. Wishing you could buy a brand new 2018 car priced in the teens is unheard of. Not at Sunbury Motors Kia.
Wanna see you in a Kia. Sunbury Motors Kia.
It's 20 under 20. 20 vehicles for under 20 grand. Sunbury Motors Kia has 20 new 2018 Kia Rios, Optimas, Souls, and Fortes for under $20,000. Sunbury Motors Kia makes it easy to own a brand new 2018 Kia. 20 under 20. Don't get badgered by other dealers. Sunbury Motors Kia can get you into a 2018 Kia for under 20 grand.
You can go back to your teens.
Plus, all have Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. And SMC has over 25 certified pre-owned Kias to choose from, too. Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15 Hummel's Wharf, and at sunburymotorskia.com.
Offer expires 5/31/18. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see retailer or go to kia.com.
Welcome back to One-on-One. We're speaking today with Lieutenant Colonel Joe Walsh, Shikellamy High School's Junior ROTC. We've been having a really interesting conversation and wanted to talk about Memorial Day weekend, which, as this runs, is just a few days away.
Right.
Anything I didn't ask you how many students are in your program?
We maintain over 10% of the school population, which is by our contract we're supposed to. So we've got 120 kids this year.
Wow. And it's a mix of freshmen, juniors.
Freshmen, juniors, all the way up through seniors, and it's for the most part it's a 50-50 between male and females. It's always been that way. Don't ask me how, but they're not boyfriend and girlfriends.
Yeah, yeah. So you do you were talking about how you do a lot of parades. You doing anything this Memorial Day weekend?
We are. We partner with Applebee's. So this coming weekend, we're actually partnering with Applebee's, and we support the Wounded Warriors of Pennsylvania, or Pennsylvania Wounded Warriors. Yeah. And it's a nonprofit organization. We originally were going to go and support the Wounded Warrior program, which is a nationwide one. But again, we decided to, at the end, to go ahead and support the veterans inside of Pennsylvania. So for the past 5 years, what happens is the cadets, we do a Veterans Day event with Applebee's, and we do a Memorial Day. This coming weekend, we'll have about 6 cadets. The recruiters from the mall, the first sergeant and I will actually go down there, and we'll partner and pair up with employees from Applebee's, and we'll become the hosts, the servers.
Oh, okay.
I screw up the order every year. So and then we actually serve the people of the community, and all the tips for that evening get tallied up, and we present a check to the Pennsylvania Wounded Warriors.
Okay.
So we've been doing that for the past 5 years.
Yeah. So that's what's coming up. You do a lot of flag ceremonies that I've seen you.
We do flag marries in town. Matter of fact, they have the, it's slipping my mind, Hometown Heroes event that's coming up. And the mayor recently asked us not only to participate in a color guard for that event.
When is that?
Why would you do that to me?
I'm sorry. Okay.
I've got
Hometown Heroes.
The Hometown Heroes event. I want to say it's the, I couldn't tell you. I'd be throwing the wrong date out and confuse everybody.
People will look up Hometown Heroes.
That's correct.
Okay.
But we are going to be doing the large flag that's in Cameron Park. We're going to be retiring that. So it's been up there. It's worn and tattered. So we'll have cadets, and hopefully we're trying to get some scouts out there as well. Maybe some of the venture crew, some people in the community, and we'll retire the flag the way it's supposed to, and then we'll raise the new flag. So that's the intent there.
You've alluded to this, and you talked a little bit about it, but I always like to ask someone towards the end of an interview what is most gratifying about what you do, and maybe you can think about a particular student or some that comes to mind.
It's not any one student. Like I said, and I said this probably pertains to some teachers as well. You get to know the students, especially freshmen, and they work all the way up to be seniors. But I gauge success in JROTC not only by graduating and throwing the cap in the air, but afterwards, do you have a plan for your life? So when I see students graduate and they come back from college. Like I had a student, Miss Porgrotti. We won't say her first name, but
Okay.
she was my XO, and she's a junior now in college at Susquehanna University. So she's come back, and now she's in the next stage of her life, which is networking, preparing for life after college. So when they come back here, and I can use them as an example, and then they talk to the students in my class, it's a peer saying, hey, you can do this. If I did it, you can do it. But my gauge in success is when they come back and they've made something for themselves. They're married, they have a family, they have a career path, and they know what they're doing in life.
Okay.
Because they are the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's been an honor speaking with you, and that's it for today's edition of One on One. Our thanks to our guest, Joe Walsh, and to all of you for watching.
It's been my pleasure.
Thank you for watching One on One. We hope you will join us this coming Thursday at noon for a new installment.